Hey, welcome back. Today I thought I'd try making a probability step sequencer in FMOD to create beats. I wanted the ability to control four different sounds: hi-hat, clap, snare, and kick. And I also wanted to be able to control per step, 16 steps, the probability that that sound would occur on that step. And then I also wanted to be able to change tempo. And so here's an FMOD project that accomplishes that. First, let's talk about tempo. So I'm using magnet regions that are following a parameter that I've called global tempo that are quantized to one measure. So if that parameter changes, it takes one measure, or on the next measure, the tempo will change. So let's take a look at that. So there's the tempo changes. You can hear that they're occurring on the downbeat of any measure, and I can jump across any tempo change that I want to. Then the next thing is I'm using sub events for each of the specific sounds on any of the 16 steps. The reason for that is even though at the moment I'm only using one sample inside each of those events, if I wanted to create more realism, I could go in and edit that single event. So let's take the hi-hat as an example. I could edit this single event to replace this single instrument with a multi-instrument to be able to select from multiple different hi-hat samples so that we could have some variation across the beat. And if I had dropped the single instrument on the timeline here, then I'd have to go in and edit every single copy of that, as opposed to here, I can just go in and update the single hi-hat instrument, and that will update all of the references to the thing that creates that hi-hat sound across my probability sequencer here. Then the next layer of things is that I'm automating the probability per event. And so if we look at that, we can see that each one has its own parameter assigned to it. So in this case, the parameter called kick01 controls whether or not this step occurs, or the probability that that step occurs. And we can see that repeated for every first step at each of the tempos, that those are all using kick01 to determine when those occur. Looks like my tempo, there we go. So that's how I'm controlling the probability that a step occurs. So I've done that for every single step, that every single step has its own parameter. And then even though this is a lot of parameters within a single FMOD event, on the game engine side of things, we could create some intuitive user interface that isn't just a long list of parameters to control this. And so the user could be controlling tempo and the probability that a sound occurs on a specific step. And so here's just a little demo of this. I'll go ahead and change tempos and start generating the probability of some cool pattern happening. So enjoy. There it is, a probability step sequencer in FMOD. Thanks for watching.